Hello, so this is going to be a quick introduction and run through of Levee and Masse, the Wars of the French Revolution, the computer version. It's web-based. And when you first come in, there'll be some information here. And this is a sort of pre-release version, so there'll be some slight differences between what you're seeing here and what you'll actually see when you play the game. When we come in, right, we could load a saved game, but we don't have one. So we're going to go and set up game, set up a new game. And we're going to play sounds and show pictures. And we're just going to play the full basic game, or well, first few turns of it anyways. The historic order provides events in chronological order as they occurred in the French Revolution. The basic game follows a rough historical order following through the decks, the blue, white, and red decks, but the cards appear randomly. So it's a more challenging game and not quite historical, but that's what we're going to play because we want a challenge. All right, first thing that comes up, I'm going to push the full screen button because it looks a little bit better. We have our map here of France and sort of Western Europe with Paris as the core. What we have are 5 armies arranged like a dismembered octopus here, each of which are going to try and make their way to Paris. The British, Prussian, Austrian, Piedmont, and Vendée counter-revolutionaries will, through the turn after turn, gradually move closer and closer to Paris. Your job is to keep them at bay, to drive them away from the gates of Paris. If any of these armies reach Paris and conquer it, then the revolution is over. It has been overthrown and you will have lost the game. And you'll be given a list of what the consequences might have been. Down here in the lower left-hand corner is the political table showing you the status of the current ideologies, current status of republicanism, despotism, and monarchy. Monarchy is obviously on at the top here with 4 points, and republic and despotism are down at the bottom, each with -1. Your goal, in part, is to push this republic up to this end and push monarchy down the other end, and hopefully keep despotism down at this end as well. And so you'll be persecuting members of the aristocracy and supporters of the monarchy while trying to support and promote the interests of republicanism as we go along here. We also have a -1 military die roll marker, which means that you lose a modifier, die roll modifier. You lose 1 point when you roll to attack an enemy army during a military action. And you can change this die roll modifier by getting the republic up above the monarchy. Over here on the left is kind of a little picture of a caricature of the state of France under the monarchy. We have the headline cards are going to be appearing here, each one of them 1 turn at a time. We've got the number of cards that are still in the deck, the title of the card, a picture that goes with it, the date, a historic commentary. In here, we'll see the political changes that are occurring. Here are going to be the military and other informational events will occur here. And our actions will appear down here. So we're going to begin the game. And it's the tennis court oath, which is always the very first card. And we find there's some changes here. And the Vendée army marches forward and captures Bordeaux. So Republic has come up a little bit, Monarchy has gone down a little bit, and I have 2 actions. Since the Vendée army is still pretty far from Paris, I'm going to try and put my efforts into raising up the support for the Republic. Okay, I rolled a 3. That was more than 0. That was good, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to use my other action on a political action. Oh, yay, I got 2 3s, which pushed that up. When you're rolling here, you have to roll higher than that number to push Republic up or Monarchy down. Keep in mind that a 1 is always a failure. No matter what, if you roll a 1, you've wasted your action. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next turn. And it's Storming of the Bastille. And we have disorder in Paris, and the Vendée march forward, and here comes the Piedmont army gradually creeping towards Paris. So it's a day of action here, and the mobs are rioting in Paris, and that tends to push the Republic down. So you want to reestablish order and disperse those crowds. So I'm going to take an action here to do that. I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on the die. Oh, see, I rolled a 1 and that failed. I have to roll higher than a 2. You can see the defense here. I have to roll higher than a 2. Well, I'd better do that again. There we go. So it's been set aside. Order's been reestablished in Paris. I have 1 action left. I'm going to use that to try and push down the monarchy. That did not work, so that was a useless action. So we're on to the next one. And we have another disorder. Those darn French revolutionary mobs are always out in the street. We see the Vendée creeping even closer. Here come the Prussians have entered the war. The Piedmont did not move forward. You also notice that there is a +1 military die roll modifier for Prussia. That means if I attack, if we launch an attack here on Prussia, then we will get a +1 to our die roll. That's good, right? And down here, you can see that we don't have any specific die roll marker, a die roll modifier. So I'm going to first get rid of that disorder. Okay, that was good. Good roll. If Republic is above monarchy, if Republic right now is at 4 or monarchy was at 2, then that would have been automatic. I wouldn't even roll the die. I would use 1 action to remove the disorder. But right now I'm going to use a military action and attack Prussia because I have that +1 die roll modifier. That did not work. I rolled a 3, +1 is a 4. That's less than the number here. I need to roll more than that. Let's try that again. There we go. We've driven them back to Berlin because we rolled a 5, +1 is a 6, which is more than 4. The last thing I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm going to try and drive off the Vendée. Their defense is a 3, so I have to roll more than 3. And I rolled a 6, so that's easily pushing them back. All right, now, before I go on to the next turn, I want to click on options just to show you what's there. Have an open save load menu here. The game may take longer than you have to play. Maybe if you're being very serious and you're considering every spending of an action, it might take you a while. So you can save here. And it will save that, so the next time when you come back, you'll see that here, and you'll be able to load that game. You can pick up where you left off. View a game log. The game does keep a log of what's going on, and you can see the exciting things that are happening. In case you wanted to say, well, wait a minute, 2 turns ago, what happened? You can look that up there, going back to the options. Toggle full screen mode. This just toggles back and forth. You can do the same thing with F11 function key. Or you can start a new game and get rid of this one and do something else. But I don't want to do that because that's going to get rid of all the work that I've done. So I'm going to continue the game now, and we'll go to the next turn. And this will be our last card to play with. The royal family has been arrested, 1792. And we see a couple of armies moving closer. Now the British are on their boats sailing across here to get to Dunkirk and make their way down to Paris. The Vendée are getting closer. You'll notice the Republic is now up at 4. The monarchy slid down to 2. And because Republic is above the monarchy, we now get a die roll modifier for our military attacks of a +1, which, look, we also have a +1 for this card. This card gives us a +1, so now we have +2 die roll modifiers. We can go and really attack a whole bunch of people. We have 3 actions. I'm going to use that to attack the British Navy. Note that this is a 4. Most of the time their army is a defensive 3, but when they're at sea here, they're a little harder to attack. But nevertheless, I have a +2 die roll modifier. So, oh, it failed. Gonna try it again. There we go. See it. You cannot attack anybody at their home spaces, right? That's as far as you can push them. Let's throw one over here at the Vendée. Ah, okay, so that was not a bad turn. We drove back a couple of armies, and we're going to call it quits here. We're going to stop playing the game. So I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this and that you have a basic idea. There are also instructions that give you details about how exactly each parts of this work and what your goals are in achieving the end of the game. You want Republic to be high, despotism and monarchy to be low, and to have pushed your enemies away. So that is Levee and Masse, and I hope you enjoy it.